Hi, my name is Katarina Gimmon, and I'm a composer and vocalist based in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Today I'm going to take you through some of the works I've written so far for upper voices. The first work I'm going to talk about today is All Together We Are Love, a work for SSA choir with Descant. Now this works for beginner to intermediate level choir, and it was originally commissioned by Electra Women's Choir in 2017 for their choral leadership workshop for young women. The text of the work I composed myself and is all about the spirit of celebrating one's own individuality and creativity while also bringing people together through song. So you'll see this throughout the text and in the tone of the work itself, which is very lively, fun, simple melodies, beautiful. So this piece works quite well as a mass choir piece and also as a closer because of its positive message. The second work I want to talk about, Fire, is from a larger set of works called Elements, which I originally published for SATB Choir, but is now available for upper voices as well. This set of works I composed in 2013 to explore the bounds of the human voice and to see how I could convey an image without using text in the traditional sense. So you'll see this in Fire. When you look at the score, you'll notice that there's no actual poetry. There are no words in the piece. It's actually a series of syllables that I created through improvisation that evoke the energy and spirit of fire. And you'll notice before the piece, there's also a short little poem that I created, a Diamante poem that describes exactly what I was going for in terms of the energy. The level of this work is for intermediate to advanced choir because it involves some unusual notation. And this is something you'll notice right away when you look at the score. I have some images of fire and some sections of looping and boxed ideas. The piece also needs to be memorized because it involves some body percussion, so you can't hold the score in your hands. But don't worry, I've composed it in such a way that it's quite easy to memorize. This piece works really well to grab people's attention because of how overtly energetic it is and bold. So perhaps consider putting it at the beginning of your concert or pairing it with another work that you really want people engaged for. So maybe a very lush, harmonious work, which will immediately follow it. The Bird's Lullaby was composed in 2016 for Arcady Women's Chamber Choir, now known as Myriad Ensemble, who I'm composer in residence for. This work is set to a poem of the same name by Canadian and Aboriginal poet E. Pauline Johnson. A lot of Pauline Johnson's poetry has a lot of natural imagery, and this piece is no exception. It's very beautiful, images of birds, of flowers, things of that sort. But there's a very eerie undertone. So this is something that comes across in my writing of this work. You'll notice when looking at the score, it alternates between sections that are more traditionally notated and sections of aleatory or textural exploration. Because of this, I would say this work works best for a choir of intermediate to advanced level. But for those who do it, it'll be very fun, it'll be very lively, you'll hear a lot of folk music influence as well. Siren Song was composed in 2018 for Myriad Women's Ensemble. This work is an SSA piece with some divisi. And it's inspired by a poem of the same name by Margaret Atwood. And you can take a read in this poem, and the interesting thing about it is how you are slowly drawn in as you read the poem and realize that the speaker is actually the siren. So I wrote a poem inspired by this, which is the text of the work, and the entire premise of the piece is slowly drawing in your audience. The tone of this work is very mysterious and bright, and especially towards the end, you get to do some experimentation with vocal timbre, getting quite bright in tone. So because of this, I would consider this work best for intermediate to advanced level women's choir or chamber ensembles. Boundless was composed in 2012, and this work is for SSA Women's Choir with some divisi and solo. The whole spirit of the piece is about empowerment and exploring your own creativity. So you'll notice the first half of the work involves a lot of aleatory and echoed singing, echoed voices of other people, and exploration of different textures at different times and in the different parts. As the piece moves along and more boundaries are pushed, eventually it moves to a very free rhythmic section, which is more celebratory in nature. So this piece is quite fun, quite lively, especially towards the end. And I would consider it best for women's chamber ensemble or small women's choir of intermediate to an advanced level. If you're interested in learning more about me and my works, please visit my website at www.katarinagimin.com. If you want to stay in the loop about my latest works and publications, you can also follow me on social media or subscribe to my email list, which you can also find on my website.